Hi crafty friends, it's Donna here, and I have a card for you today that has so much texture. Today's card has a gorgeous floral image, but it's really all about the background, and so let's start with that. The embossing folder that I'm using today is called Sweet Vines from Paper Rose Studio, and I'm going to emboss 3 strips of paper rather than one full sheet. You'll notice a few changes in my setup for this video. I've just moved to Australia and I recorded this video within a week of arriving. I don't have lighting yet, and so we're working with window light. I can't find an ink blending tool for the life of me, so I'm working with a makeup blending sponge, and I've had to be creative in lots of ways while I get myself set up in Australia. So please forgive me for the shadows. I've tried to edit as much as I can to get them out of the way. You can blend colours onto embossed paper either before or after you run that through your machine. I've chosen to do a little bit of both. Before gives a good coverage all over the paper, and after really sticks on the image and highlights it. The colours I've used today are Twisted Citron and Peel Paint, and I've used Distress Oxides for both. Our feature image today comes from the Peonies stamp set, and this has matching dies as well. Although the eagle-eyed amongst you might notice that I hand cut mine, because at the time that I made this part of the card, I didn't yet have a die cutting machine. I'm going to use embossing powder, so before I stamp, I'm putting a whole lot of anti-static powder onto my card. I'm stamping this in Versamark Ink, which is a clear sticky ink, and it stays wet for a long time, so it's perfect for embossing with. And today I'm going to emboss in gold. I think it'll go really nicely with the olive green and also the sort of apricot colours that I'm hoping for. One good thing about crafting in front of the window was that I was able to get some lovely footage of the embossing powder melting, which is one of my favourite things to watch. I'm going to colour with distress markers today, and I'm just scribbling a little bit of worn lipstick onto a plastic surface. In this case, a stamping block, but honestly any piece of plastic is fine, and laying down a light colour. I'm going to add a little bit of extra colour to the centres of each petal, and then later on at the end of the card, I'm going to add some more colour again, just to make sure that the image stands out enough against the background. As long as my paper isn't too wet, I can also get a deeper colour by adding the marker directly to the page. The embossing powder sits up as a little wall around my colouring and makes it very easy to stay inside the lines. I'm using the Distress Oxide ink for colouring the leaves in the peeled paint colour, and it's a really interesting colour because it changes a lot when you add water. You'll be able to see in the close-up photos at the end the difference between the ink blended colour and the watered down spatters that I put on. They look like 2 completely different colours. I'm going to spatter both the card and my embossed strips. Once I laid everything together, I realised that the flower didn't really hold up to the rest of the card. The colours were just a little bit too pale, and so I'm adding some fairly bright pink on top, just to help the flower not to be swallowed by the rest of the card. Once that's all done, I'm going to pop up my strips with foam tape, glue the leaf down directly, and add my peony, also with foam tape. The sentiment today comes from a set called Rainbow Poppies Sentiments, and I have brought 1 sheet with me to Australia, leaving the rest of the pack at home. I figured that with this 1 sheet, I would have everything I could possibly need for a couple of months, and certainly in the case of this card, I do. I'm going to pop the sentiment up with foam tape as well. That's all for today's card. I'll leave you with some close-up photos of the card so that you can see all of the little details, and I'll be back soon with another card, hopefully with a better video setup. Until next time, stay safe. Bye for now.